And we're live. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back for the second stream today. So far, I streamed earlier today about benchmarking and tuning this computer I built for a family member. We spent time doing stock benchmarks of just right out of the box. How's this system perform? And so I got distracted. I had audio on my tablet, which is monitoring the stream. Sorry about that. So we benchmarked the system at stock. We did a couple last minute tuning things of setting up the system, and then we've been playing with overclocks. We have XMP enabled. We have our CPU, a steady clock at 4.7 at 1.2 volts. And we've been tuning the graphics card just to see how much performance we can get. That's why I have the screen up right now, because this is kind of where we left off. I'm pretty much sure I'm done tuning this system, but I still need to run it through its final benchmarks of everything that we did earlier to compare the difference, and I didn't want to be rushed by doing that, and I ran out of time earlier. So that's what we're doing tonight. So I'm going to do a few more test benchmarks. I'm going to do a few more test runs tweaking the graphics card, I guess I should say, more like, to see if I can, how it really is performing. And then we're going to run the whole suite of benchmarks again of what I did. So when I refer to the whole suite of benchmarks, I'm using 3D Mark. The whole suite I did earlier was Firestrike, Firestrike Extreme, Firestrike Ultra, Time Spy Extreme, Point Royal, and Speedway, which is a new one. And then we ran Disk Mark on the hard drives just to see what they're at, if they're running within spec, which they are. And then we have Cinebench, which we ran earlier, which we'll also rerun again tonight. And we'll finish it off with, over on this left-hand side here, PC Mark 10, because that's a long one. So we're going to do that one last. Now, the reason why we're going through all these benchmarks again is to make sure the system is stable. Because right now I'm testing the graphics card settings on these overclocks with Time Spy. It doesn't mean this card will run fine on Ultra or Extreme or even on Cinebench. You never know what could crash the system, right? If the system doesn't crash, it's more likely it's stable. Not all the time, but more likely. With that being said, right now I'm testing to see what's the max performance I can get out of the system. When I return the system to its owner, because I just built this for a family member, I'm not going to have this heavy of overclock on the graphics card. Yes, there's going to be some, but the person that requested this build knows nothing about computers or maintaining them, so I'm trying to keep it very stable. I don't want it crashing. I don't want having a heavy overclock and then it crashes on her and she doesn't know how to troubleshoot it. No. But I do know there's a bit of performance you can get by overclocking. So we're going to put a mild one when we turn the system, but for now we're push it as far as we can to get the most performance we can right now out of the money spent on this system. So I have a very similar system, which I'm currently streaming and recording on. My camera seems to be, I guess my camera's right here. Anyways, I have a very similar system. I got 8 gigabytes of 4 sticks of RAM with the same frequencies. I have a 5800X. I also work at the system. Both systems have a RTX 3070 Ti, but with the graphics cards they're different. I have an Asus TUF, And this system we're testing right now is an MSI. So it's interesting seeing the difference in performance of very similar parts. So far, it seems like my graph. Actually, no. I was going to say it seems like my graphics card is a bit better than hers, but I actually don't think so. I think I can clock mine a bit differently than this one, but this one seems to be outperforming my own system when we ran the stock benchmarks. So this system that we're benchmarking seems to be a bit better than my own personal system. And we have the same CPU. Like the CPU on this system we're benchmarking, it's like the Silicon Lottery. We have it up to 4.7 at 1.2 volts. My system I couldn't get up to 4.5, 4.4. Either way, I can't get that high, and it's just a luck of a draw. You can't. There's no way to distinguish between what CPU is better when they're both labeled the same. Okay, with all that yapping done, we're going to continue with the benchmarking this. So, I want to test 190 on the core. I know this card cannot go above 1,000 on memory. It's just not great on memory, and that's fine. Like 1,000 seems to be very stable. And we're going to run times by again, and then let's run. See what we get. We're going to run it until it either crashes or the value becomes lower than previous values that we've been getting, because then we're losing performance for the amount of adjusting we're doing. We're losing performance. So either that or until it crashes. I think I think the 180 is going to be it. I want to do the 190 as a test. And then we'll run through all the benchmarks. Also, what I wouldn't mind doing is going back in the BIOS and seeing if I can reduce the fan speed without the CPU getting hot. But I might do that at the end of the night. And if we're lucky, at the end of the night, I might show everybody how to put Windows on a USB stick. And then I plan on transferring all these files to another USB stick as a backup for all the stuff I installed on this computer, just in case something happens. But yeah, I'll show everybody how to make a boot up stick from Microsoft for Windows. That might be bonus content at the end of the night. So far we got no artifacting and it's not crashing, which is good. Well, look at that. I think that's higher than before. Compare results online. Yep, that's higher. Let's run this at 200 one more time and see what we get. Ugh. I am tired. Streaming takes energy out of a person, especially doing twice in one day. But I'm so close to being done testing and dealing with this system. I'm ready to be done, work on another project. But I've enjoyed this. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed this. But it'll be nice to know it's functional and it's done. And yes, I'm playing with a pen in my hand. I can't sit still. And because I'm benchmarking, I can't really have a podcast going on. And I'm pointing and you can't even see, so blah. Yeah, I'm a fidgeter, can't sit still. Maybe I should get an MSI card. But then, it's like because I'm liking how this card's performing over my Asus Tough. However, it doesn't mean I'll get just as good as cards this one is performing right now. System isn't crashing yet. And we're still doing good. Let's run it again. We up the clocks to 220 on the core, and we're at 1,000 on the memory clock. I'm waiting until I crash the core before I maybe tweak the memory clock. I went through a lot of testing earlier today. That's why, er, last before quitting the stream earlier, might have been the more accurate results for the performance of the system. Because after spending 2 hours going through the benchmarks and testing it, it gives you a kind of a the heat's up, everything's up and working and running. Then you can figure out like if it's stable or not. Like right now, I turned the system off, turned it back on, and now everything seems to be doing better than what it was. But doesn't mean this is going to be the stable outcome by the end of the night. So the link for the earlier the link for the earlier stream is not in the description. I did not have time to add it. Links for me building the system, the part 1, part 2 are in the description, but not the first part 4 of doing this. And part 3, well, I had issues streaming that day, so I recorded, will upload, maybe I edited a version at another time, but so part 1, part 2 are links are in the description. And links to where to find all the benchmarking tools are in the description too. Seriously? Like the system keeps on wanting to go. Dang. This is still a better score than before. Yeah, it was 236, now we're at 265. Dang. Well, okay, let's do 250. Let's see how it does against that. So at 220 it kicks butt. I really wonder, and I have not put this to the test on any other um graphics cards. Oh, there we go. We crashed at 2 250. No, well, I was about to say, I wonder. Come on, system. Shut it down. I wonder because I can't get the memory clock up that high if I get more of the performance of the core than the memory clock. There we go. Well, that one failed. Okay, so let's do 240. Just because it didn't crash the system, we're going to go down to 240. Run again. So no, I wonder because um the memory clock on my Asus Tough I can get up to 16 megahertz, 15,000, 1,500. And this one I going to do 1,000. So I'm wondering if I'm getting the extra performance in my core instead of the memory, which I don't mind. I would prefer that in some tasks I do over the memory. Um, but that's a preference thing. Doing good so far. Nope, nope, there we go. We crashed again. So 220 might be our sweet spot. Yep, there we go. We crashed. Um, 230. Yeah, 230. Let's run this, see if this crashes. 220 might be our sweet spot, and I'll be okay with that. As long as it passes on all the benchmarks. Not just this one, and then that was a fluke, which does happen. Yeah. So whenever I update my system or do new builds, I always do stock settings, benchmarks, and then overclocked it or push it as far as it can go. That way, say in 5 years you run all these benchmarks again, and then you'll be like, oh, the performance is the same or it's decreased, and or say your computer crashes and you're trying to figure out what the issue could be or the results or something slow, it can help you figure it out, right? But unless you got that baseline, you need that baseline to know what the max was when it was first built. Just like with any good testing, you get that baseline whether you like the results or not. You do the proper testing. That way you know if there's changes of how things are changed. If anybody knows what I'm referencing to. Well, it seems to be passing at 230, so that's good. Now, as long as I can keep the score the same or a bit higher than the 220 score, right? Oh, there, no, it crashed. Dang. 230 is too much for it. Oh, right, okay. We're going to run a 220 again. So let's do 220. And I wanted to check something else out while we're doing this. Okay, GPU Z, we can go to the sensors. And okay, right here. I want to see what we're limited, if it's power, if it's thermals, like what's our limitation. I want to see what that is. So I'm going to have to do a custom. I think we're going to have to do a custom run. Well, I want to run this one more time though. I'm going to say it's going to be power. There's not enough power. I got the fans going at 75. Which, before giving the system back, I'm going to probably do an auto fan curve. Something a bit more tighter than what the system comes with. That way when it's under load, the GPU stays quite cool. Like when the GPU feels loads above 60, put it at 75. When it goes down, just put the fans lower, kind of scenario. $220 seems to be the max though. I can nitpick it, go to 225, but I just got a feeling I'm pushing it far enough at 220. And what do we have? Come on, come on, come on. Give me 260. No. 15260. Come on. 15280. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Okay. Because I got two around this, I'm good with that. So I'm going to keep my Oh, and we see over here, it is power. If we look over here onto the left of what my issues are, if you go over the green, it says power. So I'm power limited. There's nothing more I can do, and because I'm at max on the power. So that's a good issue to have. That's a there's nothing you can do kind of issue. Okay. And this seems to be stable, so we're going to save that over here. Get rid of that. So we're going to save this result in our benchmarking folder that we have here. And this is Time Spy. And we're going to change this middle word to OC. Save. And then compare results online. Okay, we're going to change this to OC settings. Update. And we're going to copy that, edit, paste. Now, we're going to give it some filler here. XMP on. Oh, what? Okay. What are my XMP values? I want to say it's 36 megahertz. Memory. Yeah, so 18 at 18 is 36. Okay. Um, Actually, pretty sure. Bringing up an old result right now. Where's my own system? I'm just clicking on a random old system because I'm looking to see how I have this done. Because I kind of want to keep this the same. So I don't need to put that there. So GPU equals 100 power limit. And we're plus 220 on core clock. Plus 1000 on mem clock. And then we got CPU equals 1.2 volts. And that gives me 4700 megahertz. And then we got XMP 2.0. And then 1 DDR4 A6. Now this one I think is 1.35B. Okay. Update. Actually, her RAM is better than my RAM. Oh, dang it. Look at this. I just noticed this. 36. and I have 39. That's why the system's a bit better than mine. I got her better RAM. Just that little bit is making this system better than mine. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm okay with that. Because that would explain it. But still, let's run through all the benchmarks to make sure. Um, so that looks all good. Okay. Because I want this to be the same to for future references of what my settings were, right? Makes sense to where my settings were when I did these overclocks. That way, when I have to redo them, I know what to punch in. That way, for example, say in 5 years, this isn't staying stable, so I had to bring that down. What was it at, right? So that's why these are known as overclock settings. Okay. Now let's go to my results. Now this one we can delete. We can delete all these in between ones. Because these were all tests. We delete it until we see Kim's PC stock. So we get rid of all these. Because they just take up space. See? And we keep this one. So, we're going to compare a few of them. We're going to compare the overclock one I just did of hers. Let's pick Time Spy actually. Okay. We got her overclock. And now I want Time Spy her stock settings. Add to compare. And I want my overclock settings. There we go. I don't think I need to put my stock settings. And let's compare these. Okay, the far one over here, I should really have Kim's name in front of this. Let's actually change that, 'cause that's going to be important, so I know what's what. There we go. That's how we're going to have it. Hmm. There we go. Do I still got them in the compare? I do. This. There we go. That way I know which one's hers and which one's mine. I should actually do that with mine over here. List what system it is. So far in the 3D Mark, the overclocked version, it's much higher than mine. I should really have my... Yeah, I'm going to add one more result. I'm going to add my stock, Time Spy stock setting to this. Now where is that? This one right here. Let's compare all four. Okay. Kim, and these two are mine on the end. Yeah, okay. So, her stock settings are higher than my stock settings. For sure. And then that makes it no surprising why her overclock is much larger than my overclock. But my graphics score does beat hers, not by much. And then my frames by just a tad too. but her CPU one score is way higher than mine, than both of mine. But I think that has to do with the RAM, because if we look at my RAM, 16 19 1939, hers is 16 19 19 1936. I'm pretty sure I got another 13 in there, but that would explain a lot. Okay, core, I can get hers up to 2160. Mine, I can't. I can only do 2085. And then mem clock. Our mem clock is very close to. And I only have her mem clock overclocked by 1,000, and mine is 1,500. So her CPU is running a bit harder than when I was doing mine. Mine's liquid cooled. I got an air cooler on hers, but the middle one here is stock performance. And see how I have mine clocked that high? I can clock hers much higher. Okay. Okay, benchmarks. Okay, we did Time Spy. Um. Oh, let's do Time Spy Extreme. Okay. We're keeping these settings. Those are going to be my overclock settings. We're keeping those. And we're going to run through all these benchmarks now. And hopefully we can run through them all good without crashing. I'm going to probably assume it's probably going to take an hour to go through all these benchmarks. That's if I don't have issues. Well, at least it's not crashing. It seemed to have everything stable. I think while waiting for the system to get picked up, I'm going to stress test the system. Like, because you can put these on runs. So maybe do like a, while I'm up, do like a 8 hour run to see if it just stays under stress and doesn't crash on me. But I won't be streaming that. I don't like Prime 95 and stuff like that. I don't understand it. This I can understand, that loop and how many loops, and if it decreases in performance, I understand that. But Prime 95, I just don't understand. So it's not one of the benchmarks I care for. And this is not all practical. This is not all practical benchmarking either. Like, it's synthetic, but it does put stress on both the CPU and GPU, anyways. For example, it's not like a real work performance, like what a person rendering a video is going to do, or a person rendering an image, and that kind of stuff. It's what it could possibly do, right? So I know a lot of people discuss, oh, 3D Mark isn't inaccurate. Well, it's just as accurate as what you want to make it, right? That's my view of it. It's accurate enough to know whether my system's running. The system is stable. Can't predict every issue and outcome that could possibly happen. Come on, what's my score? That seems like a decent score. So let's save it because it passed. Where's... I want to change the view of this. Details. Okay. Where's times by extreme? And we put OC dash. Save. And then let's compare this online. Bring up my own. Save. I think I might have to take a 19 out of here. I think I put one too many. But I'll look at that later. That's minor details. Okay, let's go to my results. Times by. So we're going to compare the overclock and times by extreme stock for both of hers. And where's... Okay, now I'm looking for mine. Times by extreme, yeah, okay. And it'll probably be a June one. This one down here. Let's compare these. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. I was not expecting this. Thinking this is a fluke over here. Because that's a stock. So I'm thinking that's a fluke. But my graphics score beats hers on times by extreme. But her CPU score still way outdoes mine, almost by double. Almost. But I'm wondering if because the RAM is just a bit more better than what I have, that's helping. Or I have to say, I have resizable bars on this current system I'm benchmarking. I don't have resizable bars enabled on my personal system yet, because that that requires me to install Windows on a GPT portion, which I did not do with the system. So it could be that. It could be because I have restarted bars open on the system I just did, which would be giving it the better CPU performance in these benchmarks. All through. No, no, because that wouldn't make sense because I did that after the stock settings and she was getting good stock settings. Yeah, okay. Her CPU is better than mine. That's all I got for you. That's yeah. Okay. Time Spy's done. Let's do Port Royal, the one everybody loves. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I crashed? Okay, let's run this again. So my overclocks are too high. Dang it. Mm, I should really be paying attention. I got too overconfident. So that my Time Spy ones are not proper. Because if I can't keep a stable overclock for everything, yeah, yep. This, dang it. Okay, let's do 200. So you know that what that means? I have to rerun both Time Spy and Time Spy Extreme because this one's crashing, which means the other ones were probably on the verge of crashing. So that's not a stable overclock. So I'll have to redo all those again because the overclock I have has to last through everything I do tonight, and if it doesn't, we have to lower it until it does it all the way through. So this could be take some time. But the 220 was such a nice number on Time Spy. It was so nice getting those numbers on Time Spy at 220. Even comparing it was so nice. Well, at least we know 200 works for Time Spy and Port Royal. So it seems. So we should be good now. I hope. But as we continue going on with all of these benchmarking, say we continue for like an hour or some, the system might get weared out, so then that's still not stable, right? But at least we completed this one. There we. Hmm. But we didn't get the estimated performance. I guess that's okay. So let's save this as Port Royal OC. Okay, save. Uh, compare results online. And we're just going to steal these details. So we're going to have to redo this one anyways. But we're going to steal those details and we're going to adjust the core clock to 200. Update. Okay, now let's go to my settings. So we can get rid of these 2 time spies because we have to redo them now. So Port Royal is our first one on overclocking settings as a valid overclock. Okay. Benchmarks. So we know Port Royal works. Let's do Speedway. And let's when I run this, I'm going to run and grab a drink right away, and then I'll be right back. So I'm not going to switch screens. I'm just going to run the benchmark where I go grab a drink. Drinking some good old Dr. Pepper. I'm needing something acidic in the throat right now. But I think we found our stable overclocks. 200 on the core and 1,000 on memory. And what do we have? Come on, come on, come on. Give me a stable number. Sorry, no data available. Interesting. Um. Hmm. Think my overclock still might be a bit too high. Let's compare to online. Actually, I want to compare this one to my personal one. So, Speedway. Add to compare, add to compare. Currently, my system's beating this one, and I don't think this is accurate. I'm going to run that one more time because I want to test something. I actually want to test bringing the overclock down to 180. I want to see what result I'll get with that before I'm confident with the 200. So we're still getting no average, no best, and none of this. So the 200 might be alright. Let's compare results for a minute. Because they're very close. Yeah, okay. So the 200's fine. So we can delete this one we just did. Delete result. And then we can open that new tab. Open this one up. And this is like my 200. So we're going to copy all this. Update that. And we can get rid of both of those. And we can put this back at 200. Because 200 does seem to be my stable one. Okay, benchmarks. We done Speedway, done Port Royal. Now we're going to go in order. Time stream times wow words. Time Spy Extreme. How can you tell I'm getting tired. Oh, I thought I was running. My bad. Okay, let's run this. Oh. Just catch up on some Twitter while we run through these benchmarks. Okay, why am I getting no data available? This is weird. Okay. I'm going to hit X on that. And let's restart the system. Because not. Oh, I've been benchmarking all day today and it always went give me best and average. But it could be an internet issue too, though. Let's see if it's an internet issue actually. Doesn't hurt to do a quick reset, and then we'll redo all that again. So I saved my settings, which is good. And then let's run times by extreme again. Okay, times by extreme. And you guys might be asking or watching this at a later time, why am I not being very talkative? I've been just so everybody knows, I've been talking off and on all night, well, all day if you think about it, from the stream earlier to the stream now, and now I'm just tired. But I'm trying to be authentic with going through these benchmarks, how I've been going through them all day. So even though I'm tired, I'm still going to stream it. I just might not be talkative. Plus, I'm trying to catch up on Twitter of the events of what's going on today. And this is being recorded on October 18th, 2022 in Canada. So I'm just trying to keep up with the world events of today. So people would probably understand what all that means if you look back at what's going on in Canada. Don't want to get into it, but so I'm just doing some browsing on Twitter while waiting to do these benchmarks. Gotta do something. I'm just not good at staying still. And I'll be honest, I'm not good at yapping about nothing. Especially when it's working, right? So that's probably why more YouTubers actually don't stream this, right? Unless they have a big following. That way answering chats and whatnot distracts from this lull. And why some of them just make videos about it. Like doing all of it. So it saves us from actually having to go through it. Because if you think about it, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 hours today. Because this afternoon stream was 3.5 hours. And the majority of that was just doing stock, like no adjustments. And then I started tweaking, and then I finished tweaking tonight, and we've been going for almost an hour and a half already. And I had to redo a few, right? So it's tiring, but I do enjoy it. Don't get yourself anybody get that wrong. I am enjoying this process. It's just I'm not sure what to yap about. There we go. That looks much better. All of this. Mm. Hey, we're going to save this one. And this is times by extreme overclocked. Yes, we want to replace that. Compare online. What? My speedway isn't found. Okay, that one's found. This one isn't. Oh, there we go. What the heck? Okay. Now we're doing regular times by. We're going to save that. Times by overclock. Save. Yes. And then pair this one online. There we go. And I'm curious about something. I'm pretty sure it's Speedway. I think I might want to do one more Speedway. Oh, it popped. It popped up. Okay. This wasn't showing before. But that's nice. Okay. Let's go to benchmarks. Speedway was done. Port Royale's done. Time Spy Extreme's done. Time Spy's done. Now we're going to Fire Strike Ultra. We're getting through these quickly now. Seem to found the sweet spot. So I'm going to assume probably one more hour. Because I still have to do PC Mark 10, which that's a 15 to 20 minute benchmark itself, so. But then if I can get that one started but before midnight, that'd be awesome. So after this benchmark is done, we're going to compare this one to my previous ones. I know I haven't done that with the last few, just for the fact we know it's this new system's kicking my personal system's butt. We know that. And we already kind of looked at those already. So this one we're going to definitely compare. Look at that. Like we're way above average. So we're going to save this, and this is Fire Strike Ultra, and this is an overclock. So I'll save that. Okay, there we go. Let's go to my results. So we're going to compare this one now. Fire Strike. We're going to compare the overclock and then the stock. This one. And we're going to compare my system. So this one is my overclock. And this one's my stock. Oh, I hit the wrong one. This one right here. There we go. Let's compare those. So this makes sense. The physical score on the stock is higher than this because we went up to 4.8 and we're at 4.7, right? Because this is locked. I locked this. This goes up and down, right? This fluctuates because from 4.8 to 3.8. This one's locked at 4.7. So that makes sense to why this is low, because physics have to do with graphics. I mean, with CPU. And her CPU score is kicking my computers. So this system's a bit better than mine. Overall much, but a bit, right? Like this is a matter of like 50, 52.48, 52.30. Like those are basically even, just like the 48 and the 48. So 52 and 52, right? So that makes sense. Physics test, like again, the physics is the CPU, so of course this one's going to be better. But I think it's because the RAM's better in this system, because it was better on stock and on overclock than my system, which is totally fine. I'm good with that. Okay, that's First Strike. It's extreme. Okay. This is Fire Strike Extreme. Save. And then pair online. We're not going to compare the extreme one. We're going to compare the regular Fire Strike now. This is the last one out of this bunch. Okay, Fire Strike is done. Save. Save that. And then let's compare this online. Fill this out. And then let's go to my results. Now we're going to compare Fire Strike. Just plain simple Fire Strike. It's probably overkill for this whole system, but oh well. Okay, we're going to compare the overclock And then where's Fire Strike? Fire Strike stock. And then where's mine? This is my overclock. And my stock is on the second page. As you can tell, I test a lot of stuff. Where's regular Fire Strike? Fire Strike stock. Compare. Wow. Wow. Just look at this. This is why I wanted to compare this one specifically. Her system is kicking her own system's butt at stock, plus both of mine. Like, yeah. So, graphics score is 41.38.5, and I can only get up to 40. So, hers is definitely being mine. Physics score is 31.66.2. Mine's only 29.500. Like that, yeah, wow. Combined score is 60. Yeah, that's not surprising. Okay, frames. This is where it's not. They're both really good systems, because really 195 compared to 190, 166 compared to 162. Like, really, that's like, it's almost like a rounding error kind of scenario, right? Between her overclock and my overclock. So, but either way, I'm very happy with the system I just finished building. Very happy with it. Why does it say profile 2? Oh, crap. It should say profile 1. So I'm going to have to go in here, take one of the 19s out, and change that. I'm going to do that off camera, like tomorrow or whenever. That's. Damn it. That's mild. But I'm pretty sure I'm done going through all the benchmarks. Fire Strike Extreme, Ultra, the 2x buys, Speedway, and Port Royal. Yep. We have gone through all the benchmarks, and the system's still running. Okay. So earlier today, I made a folder. I think it's in documents. Yeah, all benches. And this is Cinebench. These are the totals I got in Cinebench. So we're going to rerun Cinebench and see what our new totals are. So Cinebench this, and I didn't save my previous one, so that sucked, but let's run this. And this is just to make sure my CPU is good and it's not going to crash on me, because I do have the voltage and the frequency locked. So we're at 29.97. What did we get earlier? So we're a bit higher. 29.97. And what? 29.76. So really did not do that much. Now I'll just put OC and then 29.97. Oh shoot, wrong thing. So here's my previous score right here. It's 26.24. We should be able to beat that for sure. 2653. Okay, that's not bad. We're not getting huge improvements, but that's because we are locked, right? So we're still getting some, but we're not getting the huge because we do have a locked at 4.7, and when it was running by itself without XMP, it was 4.8, right? So it kind of balances out. But at least we're still seeing improvements. And made number 4 on this one at 6158. Let's see if we can beat that one. I'm going to say there's going to be a small improvement in this one too. This one was a bigger improvement than what I thought. 6276. That's over 100. That's a bigger improvement. But they're still 1 and 4, right? It's not beating up the Threadripper one, but that's fine. Okay. Oh shit, did it save? Oh, I don't think that result got saved. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. And start. All these benchmarks are in the description below, so you can go play around with them if you want. But we seem to have a stable system. This one does not have my previous score on it. And I'm not sure why. Oopsie. 6158. So it's much higher than what I originally got. Save. Okay. None of it crashed my system. Or this system, not mine, but this system. Which is fine. Okay. I'm not sure. Well, I'm going to just run this for fun. I didn't really record these marks earlier. But I'm just curious if this the NVMe sped up at all. So let's do 64 gigs on the C drive. Let's do 32 actually. Yeah, 32. No, 64. And then, oh. I'm trying to go by memory. Well, I guess I don't have to go by memory. I can always jump back to the previous stream to see what the results were and see if these are better or than that. But I'm going through everything that I did earlier today, but without all the overclock settings. So even if I don't have it physically somewhere, I'll have a visual record from the recording, right? So from what I know about this, the read and write on the top should be very close to what's advertised on the NVMe drive. The second one is basically what the actual performance is compared to. So you can see this one's bigger than this. That's perfect because it's advertised around 7,000, but and I'm getting close to 7,000. And I'm pretty sure it's this one, the write's going to be 5,000, I think. And as long as it's close, so if this is over this number, that's fine. And as long as both numbers are very close to what's advertised, that's fine. It's functional, like within what it's supposed to be working at as, so that's good. But I don't think I got any major improvements over the NVMe on an overclocked or stock system. It doesn't really affect this from my view right now, but I'm just guessing because these numbers look very similar to what I was getting earlier today. So that's good, right? It's when if you're thinking your drive is starting to slow down, and say you run this test as soon as you get your system, and say this number is like 2,000, then you know you have a problem with your drive, right? That's why I'm running to see what it is at stock, what it is at overclock. That way, when time comes, if the system running slow, if you run this, as long as these numbers are the same, it's not the hard drive, right? So all that looks fine. So I'm going to go default, and I'm going to put this down to 2 gigs. Yeah, default, and I'm moving this to the D drive because the D drive is my other SSD. And I did this earlier. I just don't remember where I put the gigs on for this one. So I'm going to do 2 for now. And to see the performance, which I'm going to assume it's going to be similar to earlier, which is going to be good with me. It means the drives are working at a reasonable speed, that there's not an issue. So that way, in 5 years, when the system starts to slow down, if we run this and it's fine, the same speeds, we know, okay, that's one issue that it's not. It will help eliminate future possible issues. That's what we're aiming to do, to give that baseline. That way it'd be like, oh, we ran that, they're the same as 5 years ago, then you don't have to worry. Well, you worry less, right? As you can tell, the advertised read on this drive is this, but I'm actually getting this performance. However, that was a similar performance I was getting earlier today. It could just be the memory on this particular hard drive or SSD. This is a WD Western Digital green, so it's not Western Digital blue, which is more on par. But I'm not concerned. Like, these readings are normal in my view. Yeah, this is all looking good. So after this, we got one more benchmark to do, and then we will be done. Not sure what I'm going to stream next. I'm thinking of replacing some thermal paste on a couple of graphics cards, which I might set my camera to record or stream. That's always nerve-wracking though, because one card I've already done before, so that's fine, but the other one I haven't even touched, and I know I need to. Okay, that's fine. Hit exit. And now we're going to go PC Mark 10. And this is our last benchmark of the night. We started out with this benchmark and we'll finish off with this benchmark. Got a bit of a chill, nighttime chill. So we're just waiting for this benchmark to finish up. And then there's one more thing I'm going to do before I finish the stream. Earlier today, I was trying to figure out where in my power settings I could go to switch what the power button does, because I'm one of those people that when I'm in a rush and I can't really shut down my computer in time, I just like hang the power button, it shuts everything down for me. So I want to enable that, and found out, I was just googling where to do that. I found out where to do that, so I'm going to do that before we finish the stream, because I did start that earlier today, and I got confused because I couldn't remember where it was. So now I know where it is. So we're going to finish the stream on that. Finish what you begin, right? Almost there. I think after this part, it says spreadsheets down below. I think after that's the graphics. No, okay, I was wrong. It's photo editing. And then it's could be done about 12:30 or even before. There we go. We're on the graphic side now, which is good. We should be done shortly. And we are done. Let's take a look at this. Make this big. So you can see my CPU core clock stayed the same all the way through. My temperature is okay. 53, 53. Oh, went into the 60s, that's fine. Oh, this looks perfectly fine, actually. So I know I took a screenshot of this earlier, right? Um, this one we can get rid of. So new. Save. Okay. And let's view this result online. Change that to 1 while we're here. Update. Pretty sure I put 1 to me. There we go. Update. I'm going to switch all the description to this. I put 1 to May 19th, and it is profile 1. That was an error I did earlier. So, now, let's compare these. So, extended. I want to compare the overclock to stock to my overclock. I'm going to go with this one maybe. And then the stock. Like we've been doing all night. What the heck? Mine not available? Seriously? Okay, so mine didn't work out apparently. Let's go back to my results. I don't like that. That's Kim's, that's Kim's. Let's get rid of that one, and let's get rid of that one. First two are Kim's. Let's add that. Let's see if we can get this one up. So overclock. And these are all older. So let's compare this. Well, okay, my system's not good then. Mine isn't showing up. Okay. I had a hunch mine wouldn't show up. Mine didn't seem really stable actually. So let's go to compare and let's get rid of mine. Let's just compare the stock to I hit the wrong one. Okay. Extended. Let's get rid of all this. Him stock settings. Add to compare. Add to compare. Compare. Interesting. Why isn't it doing that? Let's go to picture. Oh, that's a valid score. But it won't let me compare it. We definitely did way better, but I'm not sure why it's not letting me compare. Hmm. Well, the results come up, so that's good. But it won't let me compare. So, let's do a side by side, shall we? Oh, we can get rid of that. Okay, I hope everybody can see this, and I hope my face isn't in the way, which it isn't. Good. So, web score, we have on the left, we have the stock. On the right, we have the overclock. So, web score, we didn't really get much performance. 10,000. Oh, 10,000. About 10,000. Um, so for photo score, we have by overclock, and we have an increase of 4,000. I don't know what points, I guess. Rendering, again, we have an increase of actually not that high, probably less than 1,000 increase on rendering. Gaming, we got only like a 2,000 point increase. Video score, that's only 300. Spreadsheets, a couple thousand. A couple thousand. So we do have some. Oh, this is important. Digital content. So being overclocked, we got probably 1,000 because this system's for digital content creation, right? Okay. So you can see there's a big increase between having it stock versus having overclock. Now, this is a heavy overclock. Not sure I'm going to keep it this high, but it seems to be very steady, so I might, because this is decent. But it's just going to be hard to bring it down if I'm not there to adjust it, right? Because this is going to a system of someone who is not very that technical. So that's why I'm building and doing all this. So I want to keep it simple and less likely for the system to crash. So, okay, that's done, that's done, that's done. And we saved this file before. And just like with everything else, we'll save that. Okay. We are done overclocking. So the final thing I'm going to do is what I was trying to do earlier with power. Power options. This is what I was looking for up here. Choose what the power button to do. I thought it was under change plans, but it was over here on the left side. This is what I was looking for earlier. Choose what the power button does. When I press power button, shut down. When I press sleep button, do nothing. Okay. Save changes. I wanted to make sure when I hit the power button it shuts down because that's a thing I typically do. Yeah. I didn't think 200 worked. Oh yeah, 200 does work. I've been running 200 the whole time, right? I'm just tired. I just know I went down to 180 at one time, but I might rerun a few benchmarks tomorrow. It's getting late tonight, just to make sure this is stable. I definitely want to adjust the fan curve, and I want. Oh, we should take a look at this right now. What are my temps at? 34 on the south bridge. CPU's 31. Everything looks quite reasonable. Temperature is still around 30 degrees. Even this is what I'm more concerned about. That's staying at 30 degrees. Everything looks fine. Nothing looks like it's overheating, so I do have it set up good. So I think that's it for this stream. I'm not sure what I'm going to be streaming next, what my next project's going to be. But this one, I have to say, is done. I might do a few things, but I won't be recording or streaming them. Like, they're nitpicky things. Like moving everything to, like, moving all the programs and stuff I use to do these benchmarks. Like basically everything in here, I'm going to move to USB stick. I did end up doing the Toomizer benchmarks or the virtual mark one. No need. I might do those on my own, but I did the basic ones I need for testing. So I don't think I need them. But I had them on here and prepare. So yeah, so I'm going to probably put all my results and all of this and then everything here on the left side. I'm going to put it all on the stick, including programs I use to install onto the system. That way there's a backup. And I'm also going to use this USB as a Windows backup Windows. This probably is going to be a newer version than the one I have, because this one I use is an old version of Windows 10. It works, but It requires updates before installing all the chipset drivers, so I think I'm going to create a more up-to-date boot drive for Windows 10 to install, just in case. That way, if something happens to the system, here's Windows, here's all the installation, and we moved all the important like my documents and everything to the SSD. So you just gotta take the hard drives out, put it in another computer, and you can get all your information. So that is it for this stream. Thank you for anybody who popped in. Nobody was in chat tonight, but that's okay. It's a hit and miss. It is what it is. I know I don't stream regularly, but that's okay. I still enjoy this whole process. It was fun to build this system. It was fun to go through all this and really compare it to mine and be like, okay, this system's a bit beefier than mine. Even though it's almost the exact same components, I appreciate technology and I don't mind Kim getting a better system than me, functionality wise. That way it's stable and it runs and she gets more bang for her buck. It's all good. So hit that like, subscribe, follow, do all that jazz. And I'm hoping to stream again sometime soon. Not sure what on, but if you follow, you'll find out. Have a good night. See you in the next one.